I never thought a simple favor could unravel my entire life. But here I am, sitting in a police station with my heart pounding, holding a plastic bag filled with dog treats and a mysterious, unmarked key, trying to explain how it all went wrong. Let's rewind to the beginning. It started innocently enough. My best friend Lauren called me in a panic voice, trembling. "I just landed a last-minute trip to Paris. Please, can you watch Rex for the weekend?" She sounded desperate. I get it. Rex, her 2-year-old German Shepherd, was basically her child, and I was the only person she trusted. "Of course," I replied, picturing Netflix marathon, snacks, and a snuggly dog. I love dogs. Plus, what could possibly go wrong watching a big, goofy shepherd for 3 days? Famous last word. Lauren dropped Rex off Friday afternoon. He bounded in, tail wagging, immediately knocking over my favorite plant. "He's a little energetic," she warned, pressing a doggy backpack into my hands. "Here's his food, toys, leash, and his special treats. Only give him one a day, trust me." Her eyes darted away as she said it, but I shrugged. Maybe Rex was on a diet. She hugged him, whispered something in his ear, and dashed out the door. Paris awaited. The first hour was chaos. Rex howled at my neighbor's cat, shredded a roll of toilet paper, and chased his own tail for a solid 12 minutes. But after dinner, he calmed down, curling up at my feet, big brown eyes watching as if he understood all my secrets. We watched TV together. I even let him sleep on my bed. Saturday morning, though, things got weird. I woke up to Rex barking, a deep, booming bark that rattled the windows. He was standing at my front door, hackles raised, growling at nothing. "Hey, buddy, it's just the mailman," I said, reaching for his collar. That's when I noticed something tucked into his collar, a tiny scrap of paper with 3 numbers scribbled on it. I frowned, thinking Lauren must have dropped it in by accident. I texted, "Did you leave a note in Rex's collar?" No reply. The day went on, but I felt uneasy. Every time Rex heard a noise, he barked like a guard dog. At one point, he dragged me to the window, whining as a black SUV slowly drove past, then parked 2 houses down. I laughed it off. Too many crime documentaries. That night, Rex whined incessantly at the back door. When I opened it, he bolted into the yard and started digging like his life depended on it. Dirt flew everywhere. I tried to stop him, but he was determined. 5 minutes later, he unearthed something shiny, a tiny, locked metal box. No key, no label, just a box, buried under my rose bush. I had no idea what was inside, but when I glanced up, I saw a flashlight beam sweep across my backyard fence. Someone was watching it. I'd always considered myself a rational person, but by Saturday night, my nerves were shot. With Rex at my side, tail wagging, oblivious to my anxiety, I sat at the kitchen table, staring at the locked box he dug up. It was heavier than it looked. The lock was tiny but solid. The only clue? That slip of paper with 3 numbers. 173. A code? A combination? Or just another one of Lauren's weird habits? She was always a little eccentric, but this felt off. I texted Lauren again. "Hey, did you bury something in my yard?" My message hung in the void, unread. Paris must have been amazing, or she was ghosting me. Rex wouldn't let the box out of his sight. He whined whenever I moved it, circling it protectively. I set it on the table and tried combinations on the lock. 173, 137, 731. Nothing worked. Maybe it was a clue for something else. Suddenly Rex stiffened. He let out a low growl, staring out the window. My heart stuttered. I followed his gaze and saw a shadow move across the neighbor's fence. I told myself it was nothing, but I grabbed my phone and called 911. They sent a patrol car, but by the time the officer arrived, the street was quiet. No black SUV, no weird shadows, just Rex, acting like a hero and me, embarrassed but still anxious. "You get a lot of prowlers around here?" the officer asked. "Never," I replied. "But my friend's dog found this box buried in my yard." He examined the box. "Maybe it's just a geocache or something," he said, but he didn't look convinced. He took my info and told me to call if I saw anything else. I barely slept. Rex paced the house, occasionally growling at the door. At one point, he dragged me to the window again. The black SUV was back, idling 2 houses away. I did what any rational adult would do. I barricaded the door with a chair, clutched the box, and went to bed fully dressed, with Rex curled up protectively beside me. At 3:17 a.m., my phone buzzed. A message from an unknown number. "Do not open the box." My blood turned to ice. I texted back, "Who is this?" No reply. But a minute later, another text. "Your life depends on it. Trust the dog." I stared at Rex, who met my gaze calmly, as if he understood everything. I have no idea why, but I started laughing. A weird, half-hysterical giggle. This couldn't be real, right? My best friend goes to Paris, and suddenly I'm living in a spy thriller? I barely slept, jumping at every noise. By dawn, I'd made a decision. I had to get answer from Lauren, from the box, and from whoever was in that SUV. Sunday morning, no sleep, nerves shredded. Coffee was the only thing keeping me upright, and Rex was still acting like a canine secret agent, pacing the living room, nose to the ground, every muscle tense. I tried calling Lauren again, voicemail again. I even tried her parents, but they hadn't heard from. That's when the paranoia really kicked in. Had something happened to her? Was I being watched because of her or Rex? Or that stupid box? I needed answers, but I also needed help. That's when inspiration struck. Who knows dogs better than anyone? The vet. Maybe Rex was sick. Maybe his weird behavior was not so weird. I loaded Rex into the car, box hidden in my purse, and headed to Dr. Patel's clinic. The waiting room was packed with stressed-out pets and owners. Rex immediately tried to befriend a Chihuahua, who was less than thrilled. Dr. Patel listened patiently as I described Rex's behavior: lethargy, digging, protectiveness, growling at shadows, and oh yeah, unearthing a mysterious locked box. She raised an eyebrow. "Any changes in his diet?" I hesitated. "Lauren gave me these special treats for..." Dr. Patel's eyes narrowed. "May I see them?" I handed her. She sniffed it, then called her assistant to run a quick test. "You know, sometimes people use calming treats with C or melatonin," she said, "but it's important to know what's actually in them." Rex, meanwhile, had wedged himself under the exam table, as if hiding from the world. While we waited for the results, Dr. Patel looked at the box. "What's inside?" "No idea," I said. "It was buried in my yard," she chuckled. "Maybe Rex just wants you to play Indiana Jones." The assistant came back, looking puzzled. "The treat doesn't match anything in our database," she said. "No animal tranquilizer, no toxin, just some unknown compound." "Great. That's not suspicious at all." We left the vet, but as I drove home, I noticed the black SUV tailing me again. My heart thudded. I took a detour through a grocery store parking lot, hoping to lose them. Rex barked furiously at the window. Finally, I pulled into a busy strip mall, parked near the entrance, and waited. The SUV didn't follow. I sat in the car, staring at Rex. "Buddy, what have we gotten ourselves in?" Rex wagged his tail, blissfully unaware. Back home, I was greeted by a new text. "You have 24 hours. Do not open the box. We are watching." And then, finally, a message from Lauren. "Do not trust anyone. Call me ASAP. Use FaceTime." My whole world spun. This was no longer about dogs. My hand shook as I hit FaceTime on Lauren's contact. She answered instantly, the Eiffel Tower behind her. She looked terrified. "Thank God. Are you okay?" she whispered, glancing around. "No," I blurted out. "What is going on? Why is there a box in my yard? Why is Rex acting like a secret agent? Why am I being followed by a black SUV?" Lauren took a deep breath. "I can't say much. I'm being watched too. Listen carefully. Everything depends on Rex." I glanced at him. He was sitting at my feet, ears up, eyes focused on the screen, as if he understood every word. "Whatever you do, don't open the box," Lauren said. "And whatever anyone tells you, don't give it to them. The code is for something else. The numbers, remember them." I tried to keep my voice steady. "Who are these people? Why do they want the box? She hesitated. You know how I always said my old job was complicated? Yeah? You said you worked in IT security. She laughed, but it sounded hollow. More like IT espionage. There's sensitive information in that box. If the wrong people get it, it could ruin lives. That's why I trusted Rex. He's trained for. I almost dropped my phone. You're telling me your dog is a spy? Lauren nodded. He's smarter than most people. If something happened to me, Rex was trained to protect the box and bring it to you. You're the only one I trust. My brain melted. I thought we were just going to watch movies and eat popcorn. I'm sorry. I had no choice. I can't talk any longer. Just trust Rex. If anyone tries to take him or the box, run. Use the numbers if you have to. The screen froze, and Lauren was gone. I stared at Rex. He looked back, as if to say, I told you so. A knock rattled the door. I froze, peeking through the peephole. 2 men in suits, sunglasses, earpieces, government chic. One flashed a badge. Ma'am, we need to speak with you about a matter of national security, he said. Of course, because apparently my dog-sitting gig was now a Tom Clancy novel. I clutched the box and whispered, Come on, Rex. We slipped out the back door, heart hammering. In the alley, Rex paused and looked up at me, waiting for direction. He was waiting for me to decide. Fight, flight, or fetch? If you've never tried to run from men in black suits with a German Shepherd and a locked metal box, let me just say, it's not as easy as the movies make it look. Rex and I darted through the alley behind my house, cutting across a neighbor's yard. He led the way, ears alert, tail straight. For the first time, I realized he wasn't just a pet. He was trained for this. Every time I hesitated, he nudged me forward, steering me away from open spaces and towards cover. Behind us, the men called out, We just want to talk. Yeah, right. My mind raced. What did the numbers mean? Was the box a trap? Was Lauren even safe? All I knew was that every instinct screamed, Don't let anyone near Rex or the box. We made it to the old park by the creek. It was deserted. Just me, Rex, and the box. I slumped onto a bench, gasping for breath. Rex sat at my feet, looking at me expectantly. My phone buzzed again. A new message, this time from an unknown encrypted number. Go to locker 173 at Northside Station. Do not involve the police. Was this connected to the numbers on the paper? Rex barked, as if in agreement. I stuffed the box into my backpack, clipped Rex's, and made my way to the bus stop. My hand shook as I bought 2 tickets, one for me, one for service dog. Thank you, Rex, for being so well behaved that no one questioned. We got off at Northside Station, a faded commuter hub. I scanned the rows of locker. Sure enough, there it was, 173. With trembling hands, I punched in the code, 173. The locker swung open. Inside, another note, and a plain manila envelope. The note said, Leave the box. Take the envelope. Trust the dog. I hesitated. If Lauren trusted Rex, I had to, too. I slipped the box inside, grabbed the envelope, and shut the locker. My pulse thundered in my ears. Rex leaned against my leg, steadying me. As we walked away, a woman in a red coat appeared from nowhere, blocking our path. Nice dog, she purred, eyes glittering. Give me the envelope. My throat closed. Rex snarled, hackles up. Back off, I said, surprising myself. She smiled, cool and unblinking. Last chance. Just then, the station's PA system blared. Security alert. Please evacuate the premises. Red coat melted into the crowd, but not before whispering. This isn't over. Rex and I bolted, envelope in hand, adrenaline pumping. We ran until my legs felt like rubber, finally ducking into a 24-hour diner. I slid into a booth, Rex at my feet. My hand shook as I tore open the envelope. Inside, a flash drive, a train ticket to the next city, and a note in Lauren's handwriting. Trust no one. Delivered to Officer Daniels at Central Station. Tell him Rex is on the case. My mind reeled. This was insane, but at least I had a plan. I checked the clock. The next train left in 30 minutes. I stuffed everything into my bag and hustled to the station. No sign of the men in suits or red coat. Maybe we'd lost them. Maybe not. On the train, Rex sat calmly, watching the door. I stroked his fur, whispered, "You're the best dog ever, you know that?" He licked my hand. When we arrived at Central Station, I looked for Officer Daniel. There he was, a stocky man with kind eyes and a big mustache. I walked up, nerves buzzing. "Officer Daniels?" I asked, my voice trembling. "Lauren sent me. Rex is on the case." He smiled. "You must be your name. Follow me." He led us to a small office and locked the door. I handed him the envelope. He plugged in the flash drive, scanning files with rapid keystrokes. His face grew serious. "This is huge," he muttered. "You have no idea what you've been carrying." I laughed, half from relief, half from exhaustion. "Try me." He shook his head. "You're a hero. So is Rex. We'll keep you safe." I sagged in the chair, suddenly exhausted. "Can I go home now?" He nodded. "You'll get a call from soon, and someone will be here to take care of you both." For the first time in days, I felt safe. I hugged Rex, burying my face in his fur. "We did it, buddy," I whispered. "We really did it." But I couldn't shake the feeling. This wasn't the end. Not yet. 3 days later, my life was almost back to normal. If you count 3 days of eating takeout, dodging phone calls, and triple-checking every lock at normal. Rex stayed with me, now officially my emotional support dog. Lauren finally called from a secure line. She sounded tired but relieved. "You did it," she said softly. "You really did it." I tried to sound casual, but my voice broke. "What was in the box, Lauren?" "Why me?" she sighed. "You were the only one I could trust." The box was a decoy, meant to draw attention away from the real information, which you delivered. Rex was trained to protect it at all costs. I burst out laughing. "So you're telling me your dog is literally a super spy?" "Pretty much," she chuckled. "He's the best agent I ever worked with." Rex, sensing my happiness, bounded onto the couch and licked my face. I hugged him fiercely. Lauren paused. "Thank you for everything. I'm so sorry for dragging you. I owe you big time." "Yeah," I teased. "You can start by never going to Paris again." We laughed, the tension finally breaking. For the first time, I felt normal, almost. But just as I was settling in, my phone buzzed, a final message from that unknown number. "You did well. But remember, trust the dog. Always." I looked at Rex. He wagged his tail, then trotted to the door, barking at the mailman like the hero he was. Maybe I'd never know all the secret, but I knew one thing for sure. The next time someone asks me to dog sit, I'm demanding hazard pay. And maybe, just maybe, I'll start believing my dog knows more than he lets on. What would you have done if you found a locked box buried by your dog? And what do you think Rex was really trained to do? Drop your wildest theories below. Let's solve the mystery together.